morning, my name is Mrs. Bennett, and we are here at Nuckols Farm Elementary School in a first grade classroom. And these are our wonderful first graders. This is also Miss Sam, another teacher at Nuckols Farm. We are getting ready to jump into our lesson today about fractions. Before we do that, let's take a look at our math talk. Our target number, you'll notice in the center of the bullseye, is 13. So I want you to look at the numbers at the bottom, and you're only allowed to use those numbers to show me how would you get to the target number of 13. Show me your work on your dry erase board and hold it up when you've got a way. Some of those numbers are, or one of those numbers is above 13. Ooh, so what could you do with that? When you've got one way, hold it up. Excellent. Wesley, give me another way. Nora, very clever. Give me another way. Annabelle, another way. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of the same way. Let's push our thinking. Luke, can you do another way? Mia, check your math really quickly. I like that you started with 15, but look at that second number you're subtracting. Ooh, can you use these numbers at the bottom more than once?
Yeah.
Sure. That opens up some possibilities. Way to push your thinking, Wells. Marcos, excellent. Hartley, super duper. Try another way. Try a second way. I'm going to give you just another moment here, and then I'm going to want some volunteers to show your learning on the board. Ooh, check your math, Riley. You're close. You're close. Check your math. Show me another way, Cooper. All right, let's take about 10 seconds here. 10. Let's take a look at this right here. What if we started with the number 10? If we started with the number 10, write the number 10. If you count up, 10, what did you have to add here? What did you have to add though? 10, 11, 12, 13. What did you have to add? So right there. All right, do I have a volunteer that would like to come up here first to show us your math thinking? We'll choose our first way in the color red. Show me one way you did this. Mia, come on up. She's going to show us her way in red. I'll show you her thinking as she writes it on the board. Did anyone else do a way like this? Maybe some of you did. She started with the biggest number of all, 15. She's subtracting or taking away the number 2, and she got 13. Excellent job. Did anyone else do the same way as Mia? Kiss your brain, Mia. Way to go. Way to grow. Okay, my second way, let's do it in blue. That was a great way to use subtraction, which is sometimes harder than adding. Who else pushed their thinking in this room? Let's have David. Pick a way. You can bring your board up, and you can pick one way that's different than Mia's. You're going to do your way in blue today. Look up here. What did Davin do? Is it the same way as Mia? Hopefully we'll start with a different one. I'll show you his thinking. Take a peek. What did he do? Oh, he's choosing one of his ways. He started with 6. That is a choice at the bottom. He's adding the number 7. And he got number 13. Did anyone else do the same way as Davin? Riley did it the same way. Way to go, Davin. Kiss your brain. Way to think, way to think. Push that thinking. Last way, in green. Who's going to come up here and do green? We've already done addition. We've already done a subtraction way, but there are more ways. Let's see if I could have, oh, there's so many really, really good math thinkers. Wells, come on up and show us what you did.
I did a really good one.
A lot of kids did a really good one. Show it to me. Whoa, that is excellent thinking, Well. All right, so Wells is coming here at the, oh, look what Wells did. He didn't just stick to 2 numbers. Do you see? Here. He has 3 plus 6. So already we're going past 2 numbers. plus 1 more is a grand total of 13. Did anyone else in the room do it the same way as Wells? Kiss your brain. What great math thinking, Wells. I love how you tried to do more than just 2 numbers. Way to go. So many other ways out there that we didn't write on the board. I'm looking for a first table that's cleaned up, dry erase boards away. We're going to jump into our lesson on fractions today. All right, first grade foxes, we have been doing some work with fractions the last couple of weeks. We're going to hold off on our hats for just a second. I know we're so excited. I want to tell you why you have these special hats. So let's see which table's setting the example. Ooh, I have a table in the back of the room that's making really good choices. This past week, we have jumped right into a new math unit called fractions. And when we're talking about fractions, we're learning how to share equally with 2 people or with 4 sharers. What do you call it when you share with 2 people? What's that word we talked about earlier this week? Well, halves. Yes, 2 fair shares are called halves. What if you have fair shares with 4? 4 sharers. What do we call that? Gracie? 4. We call it fourths. Great job. Why do you think we do this in first grade? Why does it matter? Think about your life in the real world. Why does it matter that you know how to make fair shares with 2 sharers or 4 sharers? Riley, why does it matter?
Because just in case like we want to do it with like real people.
Just in case you want to do it with real people, can you think of one example in your real life that you would want to have a fair share with someone? Pizza. We did talk a little about sharing pizza. Any other reason you can think of that you think it would be really helpful to know how to make fair shares? Maybe with 4 people? In the real world, why would you want to share equally with 4 people? Not pizza. What's another reason? Another reason. Ion.
So then everyone gets a fair share.
Absolutely, but at what time, when at home or with your friends, would it be important to have a fair share?
When more than one person wants to eat the same food.
Like what?
Like pizza.
Well, we did say pizza. Can you think of anything else, Ion, that would want to be shared equally with 4 sharers?
Like cake.
Like cake. Absolutely. We don't want a jumbo-sized cake, of a slice of cake, and a tiny slice. That wouldn't feel like a fair share. So today, I'd like to welcome you to Bennett's Bakery, where everyone gets a fair share. Go ahead and put on your hats. Come on. We're joining Bennett's Bakery because we're working on fair shares. Let's see. But what are we doing in a bakery today? You'll notice that up here is a cupcake. Today's challenge is not sharing cupcakes equally. It's something different you might find at a bakery. So let's take a peek at what your challenge is today. This is a math task, which we have done before. We've done math tasks, which push your thinking a bit by ourselves, and we've done math tasks with buddies before. And I'm going to tell you if this is going to be a buddy math task or one you try on your own after I explain it to you. I'm going to give you some fair share problems to try to solve with a partner today, and I already have your partners ready to go. They are a little bit tricky though, and I have some materials on the table that will be helpful for you and your partner to use as you're solving these. I'd like to read these to you. There's actually 2 on the front, and then there are 2 on the back. So let's see who's ready to stop, look, and listen. Let's see who's ready. Thank you, Eloise. Thank you, Marcos. First question is this, and I want to show you at our bakery, we don't have cupcakes. We have little brownies. Now, they're not real brownies. They're just construction paper. But the first problem is this, and there's plenty of brownies in your bag to use to help. There are 3 brownies. How many?
3
brownies to share with 2 children. Oh dear. 3 brownies to share with 2 children? How many brownies does each one get? You need to explain your thinking using pictures, numbers, and words on your paper. Now you might want to use these brownies to model it out in front of you because you're going to have 2 plates on the front of this paper and 4 plates on the back of this paper, which you might need later. Let me read that first problem again. There are 3 brownies to share with 2 children. Ooh, this seems tricky. How many brownies does each child get? Explain your thinking using pictures, numbers, and words. Number 2. This is different. Now, there are 5 brownies to share with 2 children. How many brownies does each child get? Explain your thinking using pictures, numbers, and words. So this one has how many brownies? 3. And this one has how many brownies? 5. Both of them are only shared with 2 people though, 2 sharers. On the back, we have 4 children. 4 children. There are 2 brownies, 2 brownies to share with 4 children. Oh no, this sounds like a problem. If you get a fair share, I bet you'll know how to do this though. You might have to push your thinking. How many brownies does each child get? Explain your thinking using pictures, numbers, and words. And last but not least, so remember the back is how many sharers? 4 sharers. 2 brownies to share with 4 children. At the bottom, the last one, 6 brownies to share with 4 children. How many would they each get? You get brownies. And if you need to, you are allowed to cut these if it helps you. Because we know how to partition rectangles, correct? That might be a helpful skill as we're looking to do this. So let's see, who are your, first of all, your materials are your construction paper brownies, which are in a bag up here. Maybe you and your partner want these, maybe you don't. You don't have to use these if you don't want to, but there's enough for all these problems. The other one is a work mat. 2 plates for 2 sharers for the front of your paper, 4 plates for 4 sharers on the back. Your buddy bakers are listed here. This is who you are working with on this math task. Find your name, find your name. Raise your hand if you don't know who your partner is. Marcos, your partner today is going to be Lucy. Anyone else not know who your partner is? All right, what questions do you have before we jump in? What questions do you have? Luke, what's your question?
Can you get 2 materials at the time?
Can you get 2 materials? Yes, and I have your to-do list right here. Your first thing is find your buddy. Your second job is to get your supplies. Talk about it. Do you want these materials? Do you not need these materials? You decide. You ready, Luke? So after you find your buddy, Mia, and find your supplies, then you're gonna find a place to work and begin with number 1. If you need any help, I'm coming around to help you. Any other questions before you find your buddy? Wells, question.
Can you use scissors?
Can you use scissors? Can someone else answer that question? Eloise?
Yes.
Yes, you may. You may need to partition or cut the brownies to solve the problems. All right, first grade foxes, find your buddy and get started.
So,
First we have to count how many brownies there are. Because that'll help us more. 1, 2, 3.
All right, you guys need the paper. 3 brownies or 2 sharers. Name and number. All right, let's get your clipboards. Clipboard and a pencil.
11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. So we have 16 brownies.
So look, let's look at the first problem, because the first problem says you want to use 3 brownies and share them between 2 people. Okay?
3. So I said we should partition it right in the middle.
But there's more in a room.
3 brownies to share with 2
So this makes one brownie.
How about everyone gets 2 of them?
So, yeah. We should, like...
I think we should like draw the brownies. Okay. And draw the groups, then split and like this in half like we did and give 1 to each children.
Okay. So... Okay. Draw 3
Having a big box.
Okay, so what would you do first, Nora? What do you think? What do you think? Riley has some really good ideas about how to make fair shares, but what do you think?
Cut all the brownies in half and give 1 of each. Like
So if
1
you
half.
cut all of them in half, how many pieces would this have?
2.
2, 4, 6.
So we can each get 3.
You get, oh, try it. See if it works. All right,
You wanna cut the last one?
Exactly. What do we have here? So what does this show us?
You had a whole round.
This
What is
is
that a
easy.
picture of? I want pictures, numbers, and words. What will we do here?
Alright. Here you go, and then go. Where's right? We could we split them in half? If we split all 3 of them in half, we'll have to use extras then. Yeah. I don't know. Ooh, how about we give 3 to one children and 3 to the other? I'm gonna take out the brownies. I don't know if that'll work. 2.
So remember, you're allowed to have only 3 brownies for the first problem.
In half. And
You might cut them, you may not have to cut them. But your plan sounds like you're cutting them for this, is that right? Okay, let's see what it looks like.
What's their last?
Oh, she said she wants to cut one too. Could we pictures, numbers, and words. Right? Pictures, can I see numbers and words too? Numbers and words. Alright, pictures, numbers, and words. So what do you have here? I don't know what this is a picture of.
How much did this person get?
My brownies for 2.
So someone gets 2 whole.
How much did you get? Lucy got 2 and a half. How many did you get?
1.
How many did you get? So write the number 2 right here.
What should we do
And then how much?
This is why it's
W-L-N.
Will's plate. How would you share that?
Wait, I have an idea.
So this is Wyatt's plate. What can you put on Wyatt's plate?
So we had... So there was
Put a hole on Wyatt's plate. And
2
then
children and we had 3.
let's see how that works.
So we added 1 more.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if this works. You know what, Will? If you write it, if you practice on here, then you'll know if it's gonna work. Okay, so put a hole on your plate, just like Wyatt did. Alright. 2 brownies. 4 people. Let's try. And then we still have this.
Then we had...
So that was already cut. So put this over here so you can see. This is Wyatt's brownie. That's Will's. That's 2 brownies. You're allowed to have 1 more brownie.
So we had 2 children and 3 brownies. So then we cutted the brownies. And then...
And how many halves? 2 halves. 1 whole and 1 half. That's Will get. 1 whole and... Okay, so you need to show me pictures. Alright, first one. You have 3 brownies. Show me what you did here with your pictures, numbers, and words.
Alright, so then... And put it on those 2 plates.
It's a half.
Wait,
One
what's
in
a
the
kid?
line.
A kid. And what's his
That's a half.
Just the kid, the second one. Okay, so what you're saying is, the first kid gets a brownie?
Wait, how do we draw that? Not done yet.
What?
So it's 2 brownies and 1
1 brownie.
Then How do you draw the hat? No, like. So we have 2 brownies.
1 brownie and 1 brownie.
What's the picture? How do you draw the hat?
One brownie and a half. So you need to write that down. Good thinking. 1 brownie and a half. Great job. All right. How are we doing here, Marcos? Lucy, how are we doing?
Good.
Okay. So this is a tricky one. Oh my goodness. There are 2 brownies. I noticed that you cut those. Why did you cut those?
Because we need to make 4.
You needed 4 pieces because there were how many sharers? 4 sharers. And how many did each person end up with? Not a whole.
And 1.
What's part of a whole for 2 sharers? You cut it in
Half.
You did. So how many does everybody get?
1.
1/2 because you cut it, right? So this is half of a brownie, half of a brownie, half of a brownie, and half. Nice job. Lucy, can I see your one for number 3? So we have pictures. Do we have numbers somewhere? We do. And do we have words? You labeled it half. Oh, and you even wrote 0 holes because no one could have a whole brownie. How do you think they feel about not getting a whole brownie? All right, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. 1, 2, eyes on you. I'm going to ask you to pause for just a second. We are about to take a gallery walk so you can see other kids' math thinking. Before we do that, I want you all to look at the camera and say a thank you and a goodbye to our special guest today. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great day. Thank you. All right, foxes, walk around. Take a look at your classmates' thinking. You have less than a minute to do this. Less than a minute.